Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham, and today we're going to talk about food. So if you are a foodie, maybe you want to hang out with us. If you're an entrepreneur, certainly this is the place. I want to welcome two of my fantastic friends, Maurice Hallett and Reggie Hallett. Brothers, welcome to the platform. How are we doing today?
Doing good.
Thank you.
Doing good.
Okay, let's go one at a time. Brother Mo, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Brother Reggie, how you doing?
I'm doing good as well.
Good.
Thanks for having me again.
All right. That's what I want to hear. So let's start from the beginning. Who do I start with first? I mean, who wants to go first? Who's the oldest? Who's the sexiest? How do we start first?
I am the oldest, but you can get Maurice's version.
Okay.
This is his brainchild.
Okay.
This is his brainchild. So.
All right. So let's start with you, Mo.
Okay.
How does this all begin? When is this entrepreneurial passion fueled? When does it all start?
I guess it started when we were younger.
Okay.
Our dad was an entrepreneur. He had several businesses.
Yes.
I guess he had a TV radio shop before I was born, and then he was a handyman, and he was a DJ. He rented out DJ equipment. I mean, you would have thought he was Jamaican. He had a whole bunch of jobs. And I want to say, of all my 6 brothers, I mean, we're all entrepreneurs. We all have different businesses, and I think we all got it from our dad.
Wow. You know what? Come to think of it, that would be, I think that's right. Wow, that is crazy. Wow. We got to somehow get the whole family on. Wow, that's all right. So let's continue. So your father's got this entrepreneurial spirit going on. You're watching all of this, but when do you say, I'm ready to dip into the waters?
Well, I've been in corporate America for 19 years.
Yes.
But all through corporate America, you know, one of the things I learned from my dad is you always got to have a side hustle. So
Okay.
I always had, you know, various other businesses as a side hustle. And it just got to the point where I got sick of corporate America and I needed an exit plan. And that's how we ended up with 1911 Smokehouse.
And so when you say the exit plan, you're thinking, man, I'm passionate about meat. I'm passionate about restaurants. How did that part come about?
It was more so being sick of corporate America.
Okay.
I was always a weekend barbecuer, and you know I'm a professional drinker, so I figured I'd put those two together. You couldn't go wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you locate this place in Trenton.
Yep.
You put together the business plan. Let's stop right there. Can you tell the listening audience your background? So you're growing up, you go to Pennington Prep, correct?
Yep, I went to Pennington Prep, and I went to Lehigh University on the basketball scholarship. I did 19 years at General Motors, where I got a master's degree and an MBA.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And a pretty strong basketball player, I might add, right?
Yeah, I like to think so.
Okay.
I think I'm number 7 in Mercer County for scoring.
What? Now, who's ahead of you?
You got Deion Haynes. You got Rayshawn Glenn.
Okay.
A couple other notable basketball players.
Okay. Yeah, all
but
notable
not many
names.
people.
Well, I mean, if you're number 7, there's only going to be 6 ahead of you. So I can figure out the math on that. You know, listen, I don't have an MBA, but I can figure out the math on that one. All right. So you put together the business plan. You're looking at Trenton, and you say, okay, Trenton is viable for this. What were you looking for when the restaurant 1911 came together?
What I was looking for is I like to go out and I like to party, but I got sick of driving to Philadelphia, to New York, to New Brunswick. I needed something closer, and I knew there were people like me that needed entertainment closer.
Okay.
And Trenton needed that safe, quality entertainment, good food, good drinks, and where you could be.
And it's certainly a premier outing, because I will tell you, outside of the Smokehouse in Trenton, it is literally the who's who of professional wannabes and professional people. And for me, I certainly feel comfortable when I do go. So let's go back to the name 1911. What does that mean?
1911 is the founding year of my fraternity.
Okay.
So
and which
one
fraternity
thing
is that?
the Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay.
And one thing that it also, the restaurant functions as is a sort of a clubhouse for my fraternity brother and for my fraternity brothers, as well as other members of the Divine Nine.
Okay, and it's also the back 2 numbers is your address, 11 West Front Street.
You were correct.
Wow. Okay. So we've got the business set up. Who is your chef? Who is your number 1 chef? How does your brother Reggie come into the picture?
Reggie comes into the picture because other than my, 2 weeks I worked at Burger King, I had no professional culinary experience. So Reg has been in the culinary world for 20 plus years. So when I came up with the idea, he was in Ohio, and I just asked him, hey, if I open up a restaurant, would you come and help me run it?
All right.
And he said, yeah, sure.
All right. So Reggie, ta-da, you take it away. So you get this call from Mo, and what do you say?
Of course I'm going to say yes. It's family. When I was in Ohio, as you said, I didn't have any plans of coming back to Trenton. There was no plans at all. And I think the time I graduated high school and I left, and I'm known as the stranger to my family.
Wow.
I hardly ever came home.
Okay.
So when he asked me, it was a no-brainer. I was coming home to help.
Wow. And did you like the vision that he was putting forth?
Of course. I mean, one thing about us, I guess I'll say this, we didn't really talk and plan until I got here.
Okay.
Basically, I knew he wanted a barbecue restaurant, and that was it. And everything was done right when we got here. I mean, I think I got here in late August, and we were running by the end of September until we had our soft opening October 1st, or our opening October 1st.
And this has been 6 years, correct? You guys have been running, right?
6 years. Yep.
Wow, man, time flies. Because I remember when you first guys opened, we're like, wow, this was fantastic. So you've got a clientele that's really liking the food. What is next for 1911?
Expanding. I mean, we're working on getting everything right at 11 West Front Street.
Yes.
We purchased a food truck a couple months ago, so we're going to kick that off this season, running it at Cowwater Park and around the city.
Yes.
So for your listeners, it's available for rent this summer, so get your dates in. And looking to expand. We got a couple things that are in the horizon that I can't really share right now, but we got a major expansion coming up.
Okay.
In the June, July time period.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Excellent. So now let me ask this question. What have been some of the challenges regarding the restaurant business and the restaurant industry for you guys?
Getting quality people, being that we're, in the inner city, getting people to realize that downtown Trenton is safe because of what they hear in the media and the newspapers. Of course, you have COVID, which has been a major struggle, but, we're hopefully coming out the end of that on a good note. So hopefully this pandemic will go away or be, something that we can manage through.
Yes.
But yeah, we've had several challenges in our 6 years, but the community has supported us.
Now, why do you think people have the perception that Trenton is not safe? And why is it difficult, or why is there a challenge to get quality employment?
I mean, it's because the negative articles that come out in the newspaper. Okay. I mean, when something good happens, if it makes the paper, it's deep in the middle.
Okay.
But anything negative, it goes on the front page, and they make it seem like it's all of Trenton. They don't highlight it that it's in certain little sections of Trenton where there might be a gang war or something. They paint it as a broad stroke of the brush.
Yeah, yeah.
And people just don't want to come.
Now, if there's anyone in any city, give a 30-second pitch as to why the Smokehouse would be viable for their city.
Because we bring a cool vibe. I mean, we got good food, great drinks, and cool vibe with Motown type music, 80s, 90s R&B. It's just a cool place to hang out and unwind.
Okay.
And it could be that in any city.
Okay, and I like that. Now, so for our current administration, what do we say to them in terms of helping you and supporting you to grow bigger and to do more prominent things? What do we say to them?
They need more people that can see the big picture.
Okay.
Help people get their permits. I mean, once people get permits, they're improving property, so you're going to make more money in the long run by them paying a higher property taxes. Plus, they're going to be employing people, so they're going to be paying payroll taxes. It's just a win-win, but you can't have people in these various city departments that can't see the big picture.
Interesting, Reggie. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think he hit it on the nose. I mean, that's what's stopping growth. I believe Trenton should be something like South Street, something small.
Yes.
We need more restaurants. We need more businesses downtown.
Yes.
I always hear on Friday people are scared to come to us because, I mean, our space is smaller now with the back patio. We're bigger.
Yes.
But there's like, oh, you guys are full on Friday and we could be empty. But if there were more restaurants downtown, they could come down, see if we're full or not full, and then like they have another option to go to. But with us being the only option open at night downtown, it's kind of limited.
But one of the things I take my hat off to you guys, you have, in my own opinion, have single-handedly changed and turned the downtown nightlife into something positive, particularly prior to COVID when you were doing First Fridays. I really enjoyed you blocking off the streets and just opening it up even more for people to come outside, and you having that vision to do so. I love it, man. I love it. So thank you. Now,
and even before First Fridays,
yes.
I mean, when we first opened, downtown was, I mean, it was a ghost town at 5 o'clock once the state workers went home.
Very true. Very true.
And we stayed open and gave people a reason to come out. And once people saw that people would come out, that's when you had the old Maxine's open back up. And,
yes.
People, other things start to open up. Like, if you build it, they will come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that, well, let me go to Reggie first. Reggie, what's your signature dish that you enjoy preparing at the Smokehouse?
Well, that question's a trick question to me because I enjoy preparing everything. but, signature dish, our briskets, our ribs,
Yes.
our wings, of course,
Yes.
out of this world. But people, brisket chili. It
Okay.
started as a special, and people come for that all day. I run out of that in 4 days.
Wow.
About a 5-gallon pot, 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
So everything, the chicken sandwich,
Yes.
my version of the Popeyes chicken war thing. I think we should have a line out the door for that.
Okay.
But everything.
Okay. One of the things I do enjoy is the service, and I enjoy the customized service that I get when I'm there. I guess I'm like a creature of habit. So after 3 times, that's what I like. So I enjoy how you guys cater to me as well as to the rest of the community. On the side of the investment, right? How would we encourage more entrepreneurs to take an investment leap similar to you guys? How would you encourage more entrepreneurs to do that?
They just gotta, dream it, plan it, and then do it.
Okay.
In my opinion, we got too many people that just dream.
Yes.
They don't put the plan together and go out and put an action to it.
Okay.
It's that easy.
I don't want to put anybody on blast, but how supportive has the Trenton Downtown Association been for you guys and for your business?
I didn't know about the Trenton Downtown Association when we opened.
Got you.
I did end up being on the board. I think Reggie is on the board or was on the board. I don't know if he's still on the board.
Still on the board.
Yes.
I mean, so they have great resources. They just don't advertise it enough.
Okay.
So not putting them on the blast, but even when I was there, it was like you need to meet with the owners, let them know what you're about, and see what help they need.
Yes.
So I'll tell you the one thing that is very helpful is Eric Maywar of the City of Trenton Economic Department.
Yes.
He's been amazing with calling out grants and trying to figure out what he can do to help.
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, he needs to run that department. That's how amazing he is.
Fantastic. So we're certainly giving a shout out to Eric Maywar. So Eric, hope you are listening, and we certainly want to say thank you for all the work you continue to do. Now, do we find that homelessness and burglary are an issue downtown? Is that one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. When you have, vagrants freely walking around and, harassing your customers or potential customers, that turns them off.
Yes.
You don't have that in Princeton or in Lawrence.
Yes.
Not that they don't have homeless people and people that aren't doing that well, is they don't tolerate the loitering and the open begging and the open drug use. I mean,
Yes.
There's been several times we've had vagrants come in and begging at tables while people are eating dinner. I mean,
Wow.
How do you run a business like that?
Yeah. Understood. So I think that, because we are an urban city, that becomes a challenge that we've got to work together. Can't be dismissive about it, but we certainly have to work together, hand in hand to kind of find a resolution. I know that during the pandemic, there was a program called Soup Kitchen 411. Were you guys able to participate in that?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually worked with them before the pandemic as well.
Yes.
But yes, I participated a few different places, church downtown.
Yes. Yeah, because my church was a recipient several times of the delicious food. Again, thanks to the Smokehouse and to Soup Kitchen 411. And that was the government's answer as to how to keep businesses, particularly restaurants, open. Was that such?
That was one of them. It
Okay.
was called Sustain and Serve That.
Got you. Okay. If you guys had a crystal ball 3 years from now, where is the Smokehouse and what does it look like in downtown Trenton for you guys?
I envision it being just as popular as it's ever been. A lot of community service like First Fridays. We'd like to do, live music
Yes.
on Fridays and Saturdays. So more of an outlet for our local people and a destination for people that, in neighboring towns.
Okay.
As a place, a cool place to get out, have date night or to unwind.
Yeah. Reggie, same question for you, Reggie.
I mean, he basically hit it on the nail.
Okay.
I enjoy, customers coming in and just seeing their faces after they had a wonderful meal, or just coming back to the kitchen, just thanking me and telling me, or stopping me while I'm walking through. So it's amazing to see where we've come in the 6 years, where we've gone. And I just wanted to continue and keep getting bigger.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say something that may be controversial, but you stop me. A donor advised fund. I think I spoke to you guys briefly about that, and I guess we're talking publicly about it. If you don't want me to go on, just say, shut up. But here's what I think.
It's your podcast, Kev. It's your podcast.
Okay, thank you. But I want to get some feedback, because I had talked to you guys briefly about that. What does that look like for you guys? So typically, this is what it would look like for me, how I envision. With the support that you're getting, predominantly from the minority African-American community, if you were to set aside a percentage of sales, 1%, 2%, at the end of the year, whatever that total would be, Reggie, Mo, you guys would get together, put together a group of advisors, and those advisors would kind of advise you as to where you would share or reinvest that 1% to 2%. What does that sound like for you guys? Does that sound like that could be something doable, or something that is warranting of more exploration?
I would say that would be something in a near perfect world.
Yes.
In the future, that could be probably something that we could look at.
Yes.
Once we get out of this pandemic thing.
Awesome.
Because as far as supporting the community, we're already doing that.
Okay.
I mean, we sponsor baseball teams, basketball teams, a lot of the Greek 9 events, which turn into scholarships.
Yes.
So we do that. And then on my personal side, me and the wife have a foundation where we are also supporting different events.
Okay.
But as far as the 1%, 2% from the restaurant, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Because right now it's about making payroll and making sure we're paying all our employees.
Understood.
Although we have a lot of support from the minority community, one of the drawbacks on that support is they like to support all on the same day.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, well, they're too packed or the service is slow.
Yeah.
Well, if 500 of you show up on the same day,
yeah,
service is going to be a little slow. Why don't we spread? Sorry, it's my dog. Why don't we spread that out, during the week sometime, so that'll help us all out.
Yeah. So, how important is charitable and giving back to the community for you? Because I heard you talk about it, but how important is that for you?
That's the main reason why I came to Trenton. I mean, I could have done this anywhere.
Yes.
But I wanted to come to Trenton. I wanted to give something back to my community, as well as bring some jobs to the community and give some young kids a start in the culinary world.
Now, have you done any like internship programs, quasi?
Oh, yes.
If be? Okay.
Oh, yes. I can talk about that.
Yes, please.
So we still have one of our first interns.
Okay.
He is my superstar in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yusuf Christie. He came from Mercer County College.
Get out of here.
Culinary school.
Yes.
And he was an intern at first, and we gave him a shot.
Yes.
We have another guy. We have a couple young kids now. I think he's 17, still in high school. But he comes in and works.
Okay.
And to go back to us supporting the community, I think that's what helped us through the pandemic, because all the years that we did stuff for the community.
Yes.
And I think that's why we survived, because they, like I said, they looked out for us. They came back in. They didn't want. There was times people were calling me in the beginning of the pandemic. It's like, we want you guys to survive. I need to buy 100 gift cards.
Yes.
I need to buy 20 gift cards, and they would give them out to the nurses because they didn't want us to not be here.
Awesome.
After this is over.
Awesome. Now, going
And can't forget about Sharif. We actually had an intern from the University of South Carolina that worked for us all last summer.
Awesome. Now let me ask this question. So when you're talking about starting a business, what advice, Brother Mo, would you give to an entrepreneur who's looking to start a business, just any business? What advice would you give?
The first thing, and I can't even say this was my thing. This came from my wife, because one of her requirements for me to leave my well-paying job in corporate America to open up a restaurant was that I wrote a business plan, that I put things down on paper.
Awesome. The business plan.
That helped me to flesh out my ideas, doing the whole strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats chart, going out and doing, checking out my potential competitors.
Yes.
I mean, all of that stuff, putting it down on paper. Because when I went to a bank, that's the first thing they asked me for.
Okay.
And I was able to say, let me get back to you. I was able to actually go in my briefcase and hand it to them. They're like, wow. It's the first time this has ever happened. When we asked for a business plan, someone actually had it. And had my wife, had that not been a requirement for my wife to even, think about this idea of 1911 Smokehouse,
yes,
I probably wouldn't have did a business plan, because I thought I knew what I wanted to do and what I needed to put it on paper for.
Got you.
But you gotta jot it down. You gotta, poke holes in it, let other people read it, and to make sure it makes sense.
So the first thing is the business plan. What would be the second thing?
Get some good people around you to bounce ideas off of.
Okay. Now, do they have to be, and do you have a mentor, or do you have a mentor while you were going through this process?
I do not.
Okay.
I still don't, but I need one.
Wow. What would a mentor look like to you, considering how accomplished you are, Brother Mo?
Someone that can give me sound advice. Okay. Someone that's been there, and I mean, no matter how good you're doing, there's always someone that's doing better.
Yes.
And one of the things I see in our culture is we like to be the smartest person in the room a lot of times.
Yes.
And I've always lived my life that when you find yourself being the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room.
Yeah. Thank you. So Brother Reggie, on the culinary side, someone who's got culinary passion, what would you suggest they do first when they're looking to move into a venture like this?
You prepared for hard work.
Okay.
Working in the culinary field is hard.
Okay.
It's not as easy as one thinks it is. To succeed, you gotta do long hours.
Okay.
Your time might be 8 to 4, but you're not gonna work 8 to 4 in this business.
Okay.
There's always gonna be a last minute people coming in, stuff you have to do. I mean, I get up 7 o'clock every morning. Sometimes I'm here till late. That was in the beginning. It's getting better now. Years down the line. But there were days I was, 14, 15-hour days.
Yes.
I mean, and going back to your entrepreneur question, a lot of people think they can open up a business and just work 8 hours.
Yes.
If you're running your own business, you're always working.
Got you.
Even when you're home, you're thinking about stuff. You're doing something. And so that's something they need to be prepared for. They can't go on those vacations anymore. You got to get this going. So.
Got you. Now let me ask this question.
Can I jump in on that same question?
Go ahead, Mo. Yeah.
Especially in the culinary field, I think it's very easy to get a good start. I mean, I would suggest them starting small, starting with your church, ask to use their kitchen, sell some plates. I don't really like the people that are selling plates out of their house, but go to your church, use their commercial kitchen.
Yes.
Go to a festival. Let other people try your food or whatever your dish is, because your family, they're biased. You need to go to the public. Let the public, grade you. And then if you'll know right away whether or not you got something that you can make some money on.
Love it. Now, how do you guys work together? Because oftentimes siblings, in the same business don't work well. How were you able to work through that, and how do you divide roles and responsibilities?
I think we've been working pretty well. I mean, he's my older brother, so we have respect for each other.
Yes.
He takes care of the kitchen and the catering, which he's been doing an amazing job on.
Absolutely.
And I do all the the back office stuff, all the other stuff. So I mean, we stay in each other in our own lanes, but we collaborate.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that, because oftentimes the breakdown in successful businesses is because they are involving family members and they can't get out of their way. So I like that you guys are doing that. Now,
well, as a family member, you also got to know which family members that you can work with. I mean, I love all my brothers, because I know some of them are going to listen to us. But you got to know the ones that you actually don't listen to.
And you got 6. So now, are you the baby?
No, I got 2 that are younger than me. I'm almost in the middle.
Wow, that's all right. But you're certainly the biggest one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And just real briefly, let me talk about them real quick.
Absolutely.
You got Eric, who who is Cooley's concert promoter, has his screens for rent. I forget the name of that company. Oh, it's Outdoor Flicks.
Yes.
We got Kendrick, he has a tile laying business.
Yes.
There's all kinds of handiwork, but mainly in tile.
Yes.
You got me and Reggie, of course, at 1911 Smokehouse. You got Chad, who is adrenaline sports training. He trains high school athletes all the way up to professional athletes up in Cherry Hill.
Okay. And
then you got my youngest one, which is Corey, who does rehabbing of properties and home maintenance.
Wow. Listen, once the weather breaks and this pandemic is over, because my equipment is mobile, we're going to do a family series down at the Smokehouse. This would be incredible to get you guys all at the microphone. Mo, Reggie, you think we can make that happen?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I love that. So with the time that we have left, any words of encouragement you would want to give out to a wannabe entrepreneur?
Dream, plan, do.
Okay, dream, plan, do. I like that.
Okay. And don't take no for an answer.
Okay,
keep your drive going.
Absolutely. Now this.
And one other important thing.
Go ahead.
Don't let other people's fears turn into your fear. Because a lot of people are going to tell you, no, don't do it. Why would you want to leave that job? Or it's not going to work. That's their fear.
Yes.
Let them own their own fears. Do not take on their fears.
Wow.
If you put a good plan together and you feel comfortable with it, go forth and put action to it.
Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask, and fellas, that last part was fantastic. So I don't even know why I'm asking this question, but I forgot to ask it earlier. Financing and credit worthiness. How important is that for you to launch this business, or for any business?
Oh, it was amazing, because I tell my employees this all the time. I was able to do 1911 Smokehouse because of my credit and what I socked away in my 401k and the fact that I was a homeowner. So those were the 3 things that allowed me to get financing. And even that was a struggle. And when I tell you I had enough in my 401k to cover the loan, and banks were still telling me no.
Wow. Why were they still telling you no? Because it was a risky business in Trenton, or is just the industry at that time?
The industry plus being in Trenton.
Okay. Wow.
But I tell you, it was the one guy that read my business plan and was like, you know what? I think I like this. I think this can work, and he went the back for me.
Okay.
And that was First Choice in Robbinsville, which is now, oh man, I don't even know the name of it. It's changed so many different times, but yeah. I know the community banks, and
I know First Choice, because that was started by Herb Ames.
Okay.
Yep, the bank was started by Herb Ames. Yeah, so he has 2 locations. There's actually 3. There's Robbinsville, Whitehead Road, and over there on Parkside Avenue, right next door to Marazzo's.
Oh, it's Investors now. It's Investors Bank. So go to the smaller banks. The smaller banks are more willing to work with you.
I misspoke.
But yeah, you got to have good credit, and you got to have, get a home as soon as possible so you start building that equity, because they want to know, first and foremost, if this doesn't work out, how are they going to get their money?
Got you. Now, my next question is, were they asking for you to have a certain amount of money liquid just to run your own household expenses?
Yeah. They wanted to make sure that if you didn't make a dime, that they can still get paid.
Got you.
So you had to have some kind of, at least, 3 to 4 months of expenses.
Okay.
And actually, most of them are asking for 6 months of expenses, because it takes time to build up a business.
Yes.
Now, we were fortunate that, my first month was my best grossing month until, I think, this summer.
Wait, say that again?
My first month in business.
Yes.
Was my highest revenue grossing month until this summer.
Wow, until this summer.
Till this summer.
That was 5 years later?
We came out the gate like blaring. So
yes.
In my business plan, I had, of course, my projected revenues. My banker told me to reduce it because he didn't think I could make those numbers.
Okay.
And I made the numbers in my projected revenue for my first year revenue in my first 2.5 months.
Wow. But then you haven't seen those numbers again since last year, the summer.
We've seen nice numbers, but October 2015 was incredible.
Okay.
It was incredible. We were the new thing in town, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we were, the cash register was ringing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna keep the longevity going. But Reggie, anything else you want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, you guys have been fantastic. I love the process, love the food, love everything you guys are doing, and I love how welcoming you guys are. Now, I was going to end, but I'm not going to end, so I'm going to ask this question. How important is it for minority ownership to be in Trenton or for any city? How important is minority ownership?
I think it's very important. Okay. And at one point in time, I don't think you could go too many places where you would have had that many minority business owners within a small area.
Okay.
Because we had Harlene's, we had us, we had the Breakfast Place, you had the Nail Lady, you had the Big Easy. We were, really doing a good job of creating our version of Black Wall Street.
Yes.
And I want to get back to that. But, it's very important. Okay. But it's also important for the community to go out of their way to support minority businesses. Absolutely. And like I said, don't all support them at the same day.
Yeah. Got you. Listen,
find out when their slow days are. That's where we need help. Yeah. When they have slow days, support them on their slow days.
Got you, brother Reggie, brother Mo. Sir. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the Enclave and sharing such invaluable information. Let me know if there's anything that the podcast or we or I could do for you guys going forward in the future. But certainly continued success. I want to thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity and continued success and subscribership to your podcast.
Appreciate that, guys. You guys have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That concludes another episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.